All right, welcome back, crime fighters. Thank you for joining us for another edition of Calhoun County's Most Wanted, the program where you get to help make Calhoun County a better and safer place by helping this guy lock up some of the bad guys. This is Sheriff Matthew Wade. Good to see you, Sheriff.
Always good to be on the show, Chris. Another good week in Calhoun County.
Yeah, and once again, as always, the viewers of the show have helped us find some folks that we needed to locate.
They have. You know, they've never let us down. They found two people this week, Scotty Miller and Samantha Hill Fleming. Were arrested all because somebody got involved. It brings our count up to 4,416 people since the inception of this show that's been arrested. So we appreciate that.
Let's talk a little bit about the roadways here in Calhoun County. We got a lot of them. There's a lot of roads. People don't realize how much road we've got in this county that the Sheriff's Office is responsible for patrolling. But there are some specific areas of our roads where we've noticed some folks are not necessarily obeying the traffic laws, and sheriff's deputies are out there patrolling and parking and watching.
Absolutely. If people that's been going down Highway 431 from Gadsden to Anniston, you go that in the morning or evenings during work time between 6 and 8 and 4 and 6 in the afternoons, we're trying our best to do directed patrols, have lots of complaints about people speeding, which are normally people coming to work or going home. And, you know, deputies will be writing tickets. They will be trying to enforce that and slow people down. It's not about generating money. It's not about seeing how many tickets you can write. It's about making a difference and having people slow down, because Alexandria, from 144, say, to Melrose Hill, there's a lot of businesses, there's a lot of people coming across 431. There's been a lot of deaths there, a lot of traffic accidents. That's not the only place. There's roads that people call us in and complain on that we're out working. We have traffic signs out that are warning people or letting people know their speeds, trying to get them to change their behaviors. And we're trying our best to make a difference and save some people's lives with it.
And it's not a gotcha situation.
No.
You're not hiding behind the bushes,
No, we're not.
Waiting to grab somebody as they go by. You want people to notice the cars out there. You want them to be reminded
Absolutely.
that, hey, there's a speed limit and we're watching it.
You know, we want them to see the cars. We talk about it on the TV show. We want people to know, hey, in 431, when you go out through Alexandria, you better do the speed limit, because if not, they're going to stop you. We don't want to write tickets. We just want people to slow down. So we want people to be safe. So it's not a secret. We'll tell you where we're at. We're not trying to get you. We're just trying to change your driving patterns. You know, and everybody speeds on an occasion. But you know, we're not going to be writing tickets for 66 and a 65. But we want you to slow down and be safe. We don't want anybody to get hurt.
If somebody flashes their brights to let somebody else know, hey, there's a deputy's car down here, you're not going to get pulled over for flashing your brights.
No.
Happy to have them help spread the word.
Spread the word, that's right. Let everybody know we're up there and let them know to slow down. So that's what we call community policing. So that's what we're trying to do.
All right. Well, we need to do some more policing with your help. When we come back from the break, we'll have the first half of this week's lineup on Calhoun County's Most Wanted. All right, let's get started with this week's lineup on Calhoun County's Most Wanted. If you recognize someone and have information about where we can find them, please call Calhoun County Crime Stoppers at 256-238-1414. We want your information, not your name, and you could get a cash reward of up to $1,000. Up first this week, Gary Reeder of Oxford wanted on a failure to appear warrant for obstruction of justice using a false ID. Richard Mullally of Anniston wanted on a failure to appear warrant for first-degree theft of property. Ashley Mitchell of Oxford wanted for 3 counts of possession of a controlled substance. Christy Gray of Jacksonville wanted on a failure to appear warrant for possession of a controlled substance. David Smith of Piedmont wanted for child support and a failure to appear warrant for third-degree theft of property. And Christopher Rogers of Jacksonville wanted on a failure to appear warrant for negotiating with a non-negotiable instrument, better known as passing bad checks. Again, if you have information, please contact Calhoun County Crime Stoppers. The number is 256-238-1414. All right, we'll have the second half of this week's lineup coming up in just a few minutes. But Sheriff, one of the organizations that we love to talk about here on this show is the Second Chance organization.
Absolutely, that's a great organization.
And we've had Trace on here many times talking about the organization and what they do. Today we want to welcome her better half, Yeah, I'm going to get you in trouble by saying that, aren't I? Perry Trice is with us today.
I don't know about better.
But, you don't work with your wife at Second Chance, but you do work together in a way that I think is really neat. A lot of people have no idea how many people are working in so many different ways to help them when they're in a bad situation. And what you're doing is helping people that need to get out of domestic violence situations, unsafe homes. Mm-hmm. You're helping them remove one specific barrier from being able to get to a safe place. Tell us about that.
Absolutely. So the Shelby Safe Pet organization is the first of its kind in Alabama. It is an organization that assists domestic violence agencies all throughout the state, so not just in Calhoun County. We're in all 67 counties in the state. Oftentimes, the furry family member is the last one that you think of. What are we going to do as we're formulating our escape plan? And a lot of shelter directors, domestic violence shelter directors, tell me that often a client will appear at their doors and they've got a dog in tow and they don't have any idea what to do with them. And that's why our program exists. Is we offer temporary fostering, we offer medical care, we offer financial assistance in the form of pet deposit, whatever it's going to take for you to regain your independence and restart your life after you've experienced domestic violence in your home.
So these shelters, I don't think any of them allow pets, but with your help,
right,
they are able to assist pet owners in knowing that Fido or whoever is also going to be in a safe place while they and maybe the kids are in their own safe place.
Yeah, statistically across the nation, only 1 in 8 domestic violence shelters has any accommodation for pets, and that's slowly beginning to change as people are beginning to realize that the psychological relationship that one has with a member of the family that just happens to be a dog or a cat is as real as any other member of the family. And so whereas shelters don't really bat an eye at bringing a son or a daughter into a shelter, they really haven't gone so far as to make accommodations for the pets. And sometimes that can be because they haven't thought of it, or because there's a financial restraint, or they just, for whatever reason, they haven't done it. And so it's one of those things when they're faced with that challenge, they kind of don't know where to begin, and that's why an organization like ours is so important, is because it gives them one more resource that they can say to somebody, we're not going to turn you away because you have this problem. You're welcome here, and we'll find a way to keep that extra member of your family safe while you're working on what is your next stage of restarting your life.
Yeah, Sheriff, I know this is something that touches your heart, because I've seen you with your four-legged family members, and I'm not expecting you to be a victim of domestic violence anytime soon. Certainly hope that you're not. But if you were in a situation where you couldn't guarantee the safety of your pet,
I'm taking them with me.
It would be a problem.
Yeah, our dogs are like family. I mean, they are treated as well as anybody else, and we're going to make sure they're safe. And I see people a lot of times won't leave bad situations over stuff. And I'm not talking about a living creature, I'm just talking about stuff. So living creatures, people love their animals.
Right.
So that's something that needs to be thought of and changed, and I'm glad that y'all offer that service, because those animals matter.
Yeah. Well, we've had quite a bit of success as we've been expanding throughout the state. We are linked with all of the Alabama Coalition Against Domestic Violence programs. So all 16 programs in the state we're linked up with, and I get phone calls from them on a pretty weekly basis. So it's as word is spreading about the program, it's definitely becoming popular, and folks know that if that is the thing that has been preventing them from seeking the help that they need, now they've got an answer.
I know that all these animals are not coming to stay at your house. Maybe a few of them have, I don't know, but
I can't comment. All of our fosters are confidential. I couldn't tell you if I had one.
Well, we do want to talk about how some people can help. We need to take a quick break, but there are some opportunities for people who think, this is a great idea, to help support this great idea. And we'll do that when we come back in just a few minutes here on Calhoun County's Most Wanted. Now time for the second half of this week's lineup on Calhoun County's Most Wanted. Jennifer Ahn of Jacksonville is wanted on a failure to appear warrant for illegal possession of prescription drugs and also a failure to appear warrant for possession of marijuana, second degree. Matthew Ballard of Jacksonville wanted on bond revocation for possession of a controlled substance. Tiffany Dalton of Anniston wanted for probation violation for possession of a controlled substance. Wayne Poole of Piedmont wanted on bond revocation for possession of a controlled substance, use and possession of drug paraphernalia, and possession of marijuana, second degree. Also a failure to appear warrant for possession of marijuana, second degree, and use and possession of drug paraphernalia. Brandy Hollis of East Aboga wanted on a failure to appear warrant for robbery, first degree. William Barfield of Jacksonville wanted on bond revocation for third degree forgery. And Edward Bryant of Anniston wanted on a probation violation for possession of a controlled substance. If you have information about any of these individuals and where they can be located, please contact Calhoun County Crime Stoppers at 256-238-1414. All right, we will have the Crime Stoppers segment of the show here in just a few minutes, also our Crazy Criminal of the Week. But right now, Sheriff, we're talking about victims of domestic violence and a very specific barrier to getting to safety, which is, what do I do with our pets?
Absolutely, that's a big deal.
Mm-hmm. And Perry Trice is with us from Shelby Safe Pet, serving throughout the state of Alabama to find places for these pets to be while their owners are at a domestic violence shelter. It's great work. We really appreciate you doing this. We've talked about it from the aspect of, okay, I've got this pet, I need to find a way to deal with it. But what about the aspect of, I love this concept and I love animals and I want to help?
Right. Well, there's a couple different ways that you can support this if this is an initiative that you're interested in. If you are interested in becoming a foster, you can reach out to our Safe Pet website and get information there. You can sign up through Shelby County Humane's website as well to become a volunteer. The number to reach me directly is also on the website if you're interested in becoming a volunteer. We need volunteers that can foster short terms. We cap all of our foster periods at 60 days. So you're not out of pocket for, it's been 3 years and I'm starting to wonder if I adopted this dog by accident. Everybody's a foster. We don't do foster fails, and at the end of 60 days, that's it. Even if they're not going back to their owner, they don't have to stay with you. That's the terms. You can also become a transport volunteer if we don't necessarily have a foster in your area, but we have ones in another county, or we have a reason that we need to exit the animal from the county. Maybe somebody's looking for them in the county and we don't want them to pop up at the local dog park and be discovered by somebody they shouldn't. Then you can be a transport volunteer, and all that means is you just give a dog or a cat a ride to some place that they need to go. Thirdly, if you just don't have the capacity to do either one of those things, you can always donate to a program like this. We appreciate donations in any amount, and we make it easy for you. There's a donate button on our website, on our Facebook page. You can call the Shelby County Humane Society, and they'll tell you how to text your donation. We make it easy for you, so it's easy to participate.
Now, one thing that pops into my mind, if you're working with these shelters throughout the state, domestic violence shelters, to me, it seems like some people, there are lots of different barriers to making that call and getting to that safe place. If people are thinking, well, he probably checks who I've talked to on the phone and they don't want to call a number that he's going to be suspicious of. If somebody calls the Shelby County Humane Society, are you going to be able to give them some help in finding a place, not just for their pet, but for them?
We absolutely, we offer referrals for anybody that calls the Safe Pet line. You can also call the Shelby County Humane Society if you don't want to call Safe Pet directly, and they can direct you to a referral for domestic violence services if that's what you think you need. You can also reach out to us anonymously through the website, and we have a quick escape feature on our website as well, so that if somebody's looking over your shoulder, you can exit out of it quickly, and it just takes you to a news site that won't look particularly suspicious. But the best thing to do is consider your options when making a safety plan of of knowing what are the particular dangers that you're going to face when you're trying to reach out and make contact, and then be leery of that. Don't just rush out and do it because it seems like the thing to do. But remembering when entering into these programs, it's not about finding safety for your pet. It's about finding safety for you and your family, and your pet is part of that equation. So you don't want to put the safety of your pet before yourself. You really want to make sure that you're being careful about how you reach out. But we give you lots of different avenues, and we make it easy.
And of course, Sheriff, if the danger is immediate, the best thing to do is generally going to be call 911.
Call 911, and law enforcement needs to know about Safe Pet across the state as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that if we don't know about it, we can't refer it to other people.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely, and that's one of the first things we say to people when they call, and are you in danger immediately? Do you need to hang up and call 911? We won't even further the conversation until we've got a solid yes, I'm in good shape, I can talk right now.
One of the biggest takeaways from this conversation for me is that there just really are so many people trying to help in so many ways, and it's impossible to know all the different avenues that are out there trying to help people who need help. Ask questions of people who are at the United Way or whatnot, and law enforcement agencies and such. If you think there's nobody out there to help you, you're probably wrong. There probably is somebody.
Probably is, yeah.
That is exactly right. And even if you're just a concerned citizen, just kind of out in the neighborhood, and you see an animal that looks like they're neglected, oftentimes animal abuse is just the tip of the iceberg to domestic violence happening in the home. So it's worth considering if you need to have a real subtle conversation with your neighbor. Is everything all right at home? Is there anything I can do to help? And don't come right out and say, it looks like you're being abused. Don't ever ask somebody to out themselves in that way. But if you want to go over and show concern because you see signs of something, it's worth saying something, because oftentimes people are waiting for somebody to reach out, and you might be the one that can do that.
Well, thank you, Perry. I appreciate the work that you're doing and for being here on the show today.
Well, thank you for having me on.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have the Crime Stopper segment of the show and our crazy criminal of the week on Calhoun County's Most Wanted. And now it's time for the Crime Stoppers segment of Calhoun County's Most Wanted. If you have any information about these crimes or any others, please call Calhoun County Crime Stoppers. Between May 11th and May 27th, a residence on Highway 78 East was burglarized. Stolen from the property were plumbing fixtures and a Craftsman lawnmower trailer. On May 29th, a breaking and entering report was filed for a vehicle located on Bradford Street in Anniston. On May 31st, a burglary occurred at a business on Cedar Springs Road in Jacksonville. A large amount of currency and numerous cartons of Marlboro and Newport cigarettes were stolen. Between May 29th and May 31st, a residence and car located on Highway 78 East in Anniston were broken into. Items stolen were a wallet, 2 laptops, assorted silver jewelry, assorted power tools, a PlayStation 3, a shop vac, and various other items. Between May 31st and June 1st, a car was burglarized while parked at a residence on Cricket Trail in Jacksonville. A Michael Kors purse and an LL Bean wallet were stolen. If you have information about these cases or any others, please contact Calhoun County Crime Stoppers at 256-238-1414. We want your information, not your name, and you could get a cash reward of up to $1,000.
Stupid! You're so stupid!
Sheriff, have you ever caught somebody using fake license tags on their vehicles?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. They're hard to spot usually, right?
Yeah. They're normally, you can't spot it. You have to run it through the system and go,
Sometimes you might actually be able to spot it, as in the case of this tag on a big rig in California.
What does that say at the top? Caliphase?
I think it's supposed to be California. He was spotted in Ventura County, California. The sheriff's deputy was able to recognize from a distance that this was not an actual California license plate.
He must be a trained professional.
Yeah,
That's all I can tell
we've
him.
got some really good training going on.
Very good training going on right there. That's pretty awesome, though. I would, that's something that you'd like to keep as a keepsake. I have seen people write on cardboard boxes, the little cardboard part of a box and write tag applied for. We've seen
Yeah.
those. You know, that's not a good idea.
No.
You know, we know that that's not from a dealership. So.
No. All right. Well, we thank you for watching Calhoun County's Most Wanted again this week. We'll be looking for you again next week, but hopefully not in the lineup on Calhoun County's Most Wanted.